Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Transatlantic. This is their part number DL-DLUL238-US32D. That part number is for a latch bolt, and that's what we're looking at here. This is nothing other than a latch bolt that would be used on a cylindrical style lock, and this is 2 3/8. Now, nowhere on here, and it's always a point of confusion for some people, and it's because it's confusing. Does it measure 2 3/8? This is a cylindrical style latch, not tubular, in that the latch bolt engages on the outside perimeter or the circumference of the cylindrical body of the lock itself. Here is a transatlantic lock that this latch bolt's going to go on, and it engages the lock body here. Okay. What is 2 3/8 is the edge of the door to the center of that prep. So nowhere on here will it measure 2 3/8. It'll measure about 1 3/8. They're about 1 inch shorter because half of the hole prep in the door is about 1 inch. So if you were looking at this and you measured it to be about 1 3/8, I would say, yeah, it's probably your 2 3/8 back set. So about 1 inch and 3/8 is what they measure. And that's how these are going to go. The retracting hub is here. It's going to pull your latch bolt back here. When you're sliding it together, sometimes you need to push the latch bolt in a little bit to get those T-shaped retractors into the retracting hub. I didn't have to with this. Very simple and straightforward. One thing I'll point out to you, since we're pointing things out, is when I rotate that knob all the way, when I turn it fully, you'll see the latch bolt isn't completely retracted. That is a design, that is a feature that is inherent in design of cylindrical locks. It can't come completely retracted, or it may not project back out. Some lock manufacturers are better than others, but we definitely have a measurable distance on that. The reason that I'm pointing it out is I've had customers call and say, that lock that you just sold me, that I just installed, it doesn't work. What do you mean it doesn't work? Well, I got it all installed, and let me tell you, I've done it 100 times. I've been doing this for 50 years. And when I turn the knob, the door doesn't open. Why is that the case? Is the latch bolt in the hole in the strike? Yes, I can see that it is. Is the deadlocking tab retracted, held back? Some people will try to stuff this part with this part, the deadlocking tab, into the hole, into the strike hole. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Some people will think that a proper installation is like this. That's not a proper installation. A proper installation is like that, where that guard locking tab is held in. Here's the difference. When it's all in there, I can push the latch back. When it's properly installed, I can't push the latch back. Okay, that's a deadlocking tab. That's used generally on keyed locks. You can have it on non-keyed locks as well. So sometimes people will try to stuff that all in there. That's wrong. That's got to be retracted. Nope, that's not the case. It's properly installed. I've been doing this 50 years. The other thing that can be wrong is it's not actually engaged. You know, that they don't have it installed here, and when they rotate the knob, it's really not pulling it back. No, I can see that it's pulling it back. And the next thing I go to is, what's the margin between the door and the frame? You know, that's the thing. It's really tight over there. And then we go into the conversation about, well, you know what? That latch bolt, when you retract it, isn't going back all the way. It's sticking out a little bit. And I'll tell people, grab that knob and try to pull the door towards you a little bit, towards the hinge, and then see if you can get it out. Or put something very small in there, because you should be able to just shim that ever so slightly. Turns out that's the problem. There's too much door in the frame. There's not enough gap between the strike jamb and the edge of the door. Some people, what I know they've done is ground that down ever so slightly, or they'll hopefully do the proper thing and just make the margin correct. Maybe you got to plane the door down 1/16 of an inch, which can sometimes complicate it because you have to remortise for the latch bolt and maybe work that hole to get the lock moved over. However it's done, that latch bolt sticking out could be a problem, but it's almost always easily mitigated. This is a 2 3/8, and that means it's going to have a 1 inch wide faceplate. It'll be 2 1/4, which is pretty common, but 2 3/8 back sets usually have a 1 inch face. This is in a 32D finish, which means stainless steel. You'll see TA there, but more importantly, you will see UL. It's a UL label and the capital letter F. That means it's fire rated and found compliant. That means it's listed and labeled. It's fire tested, so you can use it on a fire rated door. And the capital F means that it's compliant with positive pressure testing. A lowercase f, if you see that on an older lock, pre-1990s, that would be neutral pressure. A capital letter F is okay with positive or neutral pressure, but if you have a positive pressure application, you have to have a capital letter F, not the lowercase f. Let's switch to the screen view and let's talk about the supporting documentation. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at. I have some photographs here. There's the latch bolt. That's called a self-lubricating metal. Little lower friction coefficient. When you touch that hardware, it feels like it's a little oily. There's the UL stamp, the manufacturer's logo, and then the capital letter F for positive pressure. A profile of it. Then showing the label that's on there. That number, which is, you can't see, that's a 93U6. That's a reference to the record locator at UL. If you called them with 93U6, they'd be able to pull the documentation of that fire test. If you were a fire door assembly inspector and you were auditing the compliance of an opening, this is what you're looking for, that label. That means it's listed and labeled, just showing the back end of the latch bolt, just for the sake of doing so, I suppose. There is extended description, not much here to add except that needs to be 1 inch. We now have that corrected. 2 1/4 by 1 inch face, UL fire listed, 2 3/8 back set. There's a product brochure here. Commercial locks from Transatlantic. You'll be able to scroll through. This is an outdated document, but most of this material is likely still available under the new company that owns the Transatlantic business name identity, which is Imperial, which I'll show you in a moment. Deadbolts, mortise locks, cylinders, things of that nature. There's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page, and from here you can pull up not only all of the Transatlantic items that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, which probably will take us to the Imperial site. No, they still have a standalone Transatlantic website. There it is. A Transatlantic product catalog. That's here. It might be helpful to know that the name Global is the sister company to Transatlantic. It's very likely that you'll see a door closer out in the world. If you're in this business long enough, you'll see it. A door closer that has the name Global on it. Global is a name that is known for closers, Global Door Controls. Their website, yeah, that links to Imperial. So IMPUSA, this is the company that owns, runs Transatlantic and Global, and here it is. You can also search on our website under manufacturers, and you'll do a find function or Control F for Imperial USA. Then you'll find a consolidated product catalog of Global and Transatlantic. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Now, if you know the name Transatlantic at all, you might be old. The name Transatlantic goes back, like me, many decades past. Transatlantic was a importer of a staggering array of Asian manufactured builders hardware. They were in Philadelphia. The customer service rep that they had was Sandy. She may have been the only one there, and she was great. We used to buy, and my family, since the 1970s, their hinges, their locks, their door closers, things of that nature, their exit devices. And it was very simple and straightforward. At a certain point in the mid-2000s, the owners sold off to whoever became Imperial ultimately. I think they just sold it as Transatlantic. Then they had Global and Transatlantic and put it under one umbrella. The Transatlantic catalog was about that thick and was all black and white and was full of exits, closers, lock sets, wire goods, all sorts of locksmith and security hardware as well. Very comprehensive document. I know I have pieces of that uploaded here somewhere in the site. But it was always simple and straightforward. Now, today, they still offer that same ED-501, a great exit device, extremely economical. And in decades of selling them, I've had one that a client called me that failed. Happened to be a job site about 2 miles from my house on a Saturday, and I know the client. I know him, so I said, I'm at home, I'll just drive over. And he was pretty upset. I should have said that initially. He was unreasonably upset, bordering on rude and disrespectful. So I drive over there, and okay, what's the problem? Show me the thing. And I'm telling him, not once has one of these devices failed. ED-501. I get to the back door of this restaurant, and his installer, who's not there, welded the panic device to the face of the steel door. Didn't screw it, he welded it. And the problem was the latch bolt was completely limp. I said to him, well, when your installer applied 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah, he destroyed the spring that was 3 inches away from where he was applying that heat. And I says, I'm sorry, but if you want a new one, you're going to pay for it. Well, the rest of the conversation didn't go very well, and that was that. So I would say that the track record of the ED-501 is undiluted, that's to be sure. If you have any questions on the TA DL-DLUL238-US32D or any other transatlantic product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.